Hi besties, we're gonna do a quick video today, and in fact I don't think I'm even gonna edit this. I just want to do a quick video where I just talk shit for like 5 minutes straight. So if you can't tell from the title or the thumbnail, this is a video about how I deal with my anxiety. Need to preface this by saying, do I think I'm like a god at dealing with my anxiety? No, but do I think I do better now than I did before? Yes, and also I've been medicated for anxiety and I deal with it better myself than I did with medication. So there's that. That's my qualifications for this fucking video, so you're gonna have to accept them, or you can just click off. It really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go straight into it, and also a couple of these things that I'm gonna talk about are things that you guys asked me about specifically on my Instagram. So I'm gonna touch on a couple things. The first thing was, of course, how do I actually deal with it? A couple things. I think the first thing is I am someone who has never ever pushed away my sadness. Like if I am anxious, I just let myself feel the anxiety. If I'm sad, I just let myself feel sad. And it's a lot easier said than done, but it is truly the first and only step that I think can get you through it properly. Then I have something called an anxiety box. So it's a box in here, and in there I have my pink Udi, which is just like a very big comfort for me. My electrical like water bottle. It's not a water bottle, it's electrical, but you know what I'm saying. I have a bunch of stuff in there, like my weighted blanket, like just so many things in there that I know are gonna bring me comfort, that do bring me comfort. And so like if there's like an emergency where I'm about to have a breakdown or a panic attack or something and I'm at home, get the anxiety box out, put on that Udi, put on that electrical heater and get under my weighted blanket and, you know, just chill. And also my Switch really helps me chill out, especially when I'm playing Animal Crossing, because if I'm playing Mario Kart, the stress just, it really elevates. It's genuinely, I forgot how much that elevates my stress, but it really does. So I don't recommend Mario Kart if you're anxious, but that's just me. And then I think the next thing that I do is this thing that I learned a few years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, where my dad was basically speaking to me about anxiety, and he was like, when you have anxiety, let yourself go through it. There's literally, like, he doesn't mean just, oh, like, let it happen. He's saying, like, imagine anxiety is like a bubble and it's in front of you and it's too long to go around it, and if you do end up going around it, it's just gonna follow you. So go through the fucking bubble. And essentially he's saying, like, you have to allow yourself to feel the pain. It's essentially what I said at the beginning, but just a little bit more in depth. And like when I thought about that at first, I was like, you're chatting shit. Then I realized he wasn't, because I listened to him. And I have not been able to go back since, because now all I do is imagine myself like physically walking through the anxiety, and coming out the other end is much more like noticeable because you physically feel yourself going through it, and then when you're out of it. And another thing I do is I do have to force myself to look after myself. If I'm having a really bad day and it's just 6 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I have to go to uni, you know, my alarm's about to go off, but I'm menstruating, or I'm anxious, or I had a really shit day yesterday, or just any genuine reason I'm like, I cannot go through with today, I just don't do that. I just don't go through with the day. Am I supposed to force myself? Be for real. It's not happening. It never will happen. Hence why I missed a whole year of uni. Did I still pass with a 2-1? Yes, I did. And that's on what? Scamming the system. Anyways, I think that prioritizing myself and self-care is something that I learned more recently, but I think it's also something that shifts and changes a lot. I think as you grow older, you change and grow, like your needs also change and grow, which is a very interesting thing. And you know, sometimes my best friend, she says a lot, like, sometimes you just need to lie in bed and do nothing until you get to the point where you're like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore, I need to get out of my bed, I need to do something. I have not had a day like that for months, which is a great thing, for over 6 months. And I've had really shit things happen in that time, don't get me wrong, but I just don't need that anymore. Like, I just don't need to stay in bed and wallow. And don't get me wrong, I probably will at some point in the future, you know, life is life, and like I said, things change. But I just think, like, listening to your body, like, I'm not gonna force myself to wallow if I'm not feeling like I need to. If I feel like I need to, I would do it. So it's basically being very intuitive and listening to your own body and listening to yourself and, like, adhering to yourself, giving yourself what you need. Be your best friend, be your best partner, be your own mum, you know, that kind of vibe. Because when you are anxious, most likely, most of the time, if someone else tries to help you, it really won't help you. So just be that person for yourself. And I think what I'm going to end it on is another question that I was asked on Instagram by a follower, which was, how can you help a friend that has anxiety or depression? And I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, because I wish someone would have told me this when I was younger, and it's not something you're probably gonna want to hear, but it's the truth. You can't. First off, ask your friend. Your friend will flat out tell you what they need, most likely. If they're a good communicator and a great friend, they will most likely say, hey, this is what I need, hey, this is not what I need. Listen to that. Secondly, if they don't do that, or they do, either way, people who are low or anxious or depressed really can't always put into words how they feel. And so to you, it might be like, oh, they just need to rant. Like, I'll be that safe space for them to rant, which is great and amazing of you. But it's not going to take it away. Even if that is how they get through those emotions and feelings, it's not going to take away those feelings completely, at least. Which is just common sense, and I'm sure everybody knows that already. But I think it's important to understand that you cannot change where somebody else is at. You cannot help someone out of something so drastically. You can be there, you can be a shoulder to cry on, you can be someone who's comforting, you can be someone to keep company with, you can be a friend, but that's all that you are. You are not a therapist, you are not their parents, you are not even their partner, and even if you were their partner, you're still not their therapist or their parents, I hope. So it's just about remembering your place, in the sense of, like, remember that you only have so much power and so much you can do. And I know, like, for me, when I'm really, really low, talking to people either helps a lot and I become codependent, or I don't want to talk to anyone. And so I don't for like weeks. And it's not a reflection of like those friendships or those people, it's purely a reflection of me. And in those moments, no one can help that. No one can change how I take friendships, or how I handle my friendships, or how things go in that aspect, because it's not their fault. It's, it's not even my fault. It's just no one's fault, it's just a shitty thing. So I think communicate with your friends, your partner, whoever it is. Get their needs and wants from them. They should communicate that with you. Don't take what they do too personally. And by do, I mean like if they're a shitty replier, or if they are more sensitive, block it out. And I'm not saying if they like murder your cat because they're sad, you know what I mean? But be patient. I'm sure that if you've been through it, you will know how that feels. But anyway, this was a very short, unedited video, which I like doing. So I hope you guys enjoy the new hair. More of that coming soon. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you.